Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Let's Slice Data with Saurabh. So today I'm here to discuss about the two new technologies. As you grow in the ladder, you do not have to code every time. You might have to handle the team and you have to do project management and even program management sometimes when you are in the bigger role. But you have to understand that, okay, what are the project management techniques? How can you handle the project? What are the different available techniques are there in the market with whom you can do that? Might be you're not a technical guy, but you have to understand the technical thing. Plus, you have to understand the project management things as well, which is very important. Once you are in a companies like Infosys, BP, Tech Mahindra, Chevron, Satyam, Accenture. I'm telling the names of the companies where I have worked. So there you have to do these kind of projects and you have to understand that, okay, what is waterfall technology? What is agile technology? Because we are all working in a software development kind of a project. Or maybe we have to deliver some data quality management projects or data management kind of projects, or maybe data articulation, data science kind of projects also. There also you have to apply these techniques to understand that. So basically, there are two techniques which are present in the market. One is waterfall and one is agile. So what is waterfall and what is agile? You have to understand, because the people who are from different backgrounds, this video is going to help them a lot. I will explain you everything in a very simple way so that you can understand that, okay, what are the difference between waterfall, agile, and there are so many terms like ADO dashboards, JIRA Tool. So they will put you some jargons in front of you and then you will be uncomfortable because you have never heard about it. So if you listen to these words, if you watch this video till end, definitely you are going to learn all these techniques in a very simple way. I'm going to just give you I will show you the screenshots as well so that you can understand that, okay, what I am talking about. Okay, so let's start with the waterfall and what is agile. Waterfall technique is like, if I say in a family, if a grandfather said something that, okay, this is you have to do, and the entire family is following that. Means after that, there are no discussions. Means like once it is done, it is done. The requirements are given to you. You have to follow that, starting from conception, initiation, analysis, design, develop, test, and testing and deployment. And after deployment only, you can go back to that client and say that, okay, we have done all these things. Now tell me if there are any problems or something like that. No. But in today's world, things are changing very fast. They might give you some new requirements in between as well. So let's say the client said that, okay, I want this particular website in this particular manner. And after 5 days, they will come back, no, I do not want that. I want to do this modification into that. Then you can, if you are from the older school, you might fight with them and say that, okay, you have given me the requirement once. We are already working on the conception and initiation process. We are not going to change that. That is the waterfall technology. But when you talk about agile technology, you can say there are small sprints. A sprint, that when people start running in a very small, distance, that is called sprint. So a sprint will cover a very small portion of that requirement, and they will start working on that. It has also the same kind of steps. Only thing is that it will reiterate after a certain time. Let's say a week time or 2-week time. So the sprint depends upon the requirement. That, okay, what is the requirement? We have a very big requirement, very huge requirement. We can divide that requirement into certain parts. Let's say you have to develop something on MS Azure, a new thing you have to develop. But in sprint 1, means like, say, if you are working on the waterfall, they will say that, okay, go and build this particular development or this application in Azure. And then they will go back and then come back after 5 months and they will ask that, okay, what happened there? But in agile technology, you can meet them every now and then. After every sprint, there is a sprint review meeting with the client, and you can show that, okay, sir, in this particular week or in this particular sprint, means like in this time frame, we have done this. Now tell us that we are going right or not. Or if you have any other requirement, you can please add into that. So that is very important because it has sprint kind of thing. It's very small time frames, and you can show it to the customer, and customer will give you the feedback, and you have to implement that. Okay, so here also plan, design, develop, test, and then reiterate. That is very important. Why? Because in Agile, you can reiterate, means you can do this thing again and again and again. You can go back to the client, talk to them and say that, okay, we have done this, now how it is looking that, and then the customer will give you some feedback that, okay, this kind of work is looking good, now go and do this. And maybe he has some different plans in his mind, and he will say that, okay, change that requirement and do this. So requirements will frequently change in Agile, but not in Waterfall. Waterfall means what? There is a waterfall, the water is coming from the top to the bottom, and it will fall in one way, that's it. But in Agile, you have to stop that thing. After every sprint, you have to go and meet to the customer, show them that, okay, we have done this, now take the feedback and implement that. So the customer will also be happy, and you will also be happy that, okay, the small sprints, we are covering few things. Okay. Now, I will tell you what are the basic difference between the waterfall and agile. These are very simple Google thing you can do, but you have to understand that, okay, what are the key differences? Waterfall is a linear sequential life cycle model, whereas agile is a continuous iteration of development and testing in the software development process. Because we all are working in an IT industry, software development is our main tool, where we have to make sure whether we are creating any dashboard, or we are creating any platform, or we are doing any data quality management, anything which we are doing, we have to do in the continuous iteration of development and testing and show back to the customer. Then it is called agile. Otherwise, linear sequential life cycle model. It's like once they will give you the requirement, you have to do it, come back after 5 months. That is called waterfall. I am saying 5 months, might be 3 months, might be 1 year. It depends upon that waterfall. But in agile, it's a continuous reiteration process. Every now and then you have to go back to the customer, tell them that, okay, I have done this. Now what I have to do? Might be he will give you some new requirements. He will change some requirements. So agile methodology is known as for its flexibility. So it is a very flexible technique where every now and then you can change the requirement from the customer. Customer might change requirement because the world is very agile. Agile means what? Very, flexible kind of thing. Comparing the waterfall methodology versus agile, which follows an incremental approach, whereas the waterfall is sequential design process. Incremental approach means like every now and then they will give you some sort of requirement, and then the development team will work on that. But in a sequential design process, that is waterfall, which they give you once that, okay, I want this, that's it. Then they will go back home and you have to go and tell them. There is no review kind of thing in every now and then in that particular. Agile perform testing concurrently with software development, whereas waterfall methodology, testing comes after the build phase. Once then they will build everything, then only they will test. Here, they will do testing on the small portion as well. Testing means what? Let's say first you are working on an Azure environment. ADO dashboard you have to create. You have to take the access of the MS Azure platform. So that will also become one sprint. Might be in one sprint you will get only access. That's it for the entire team member. Okay, this is done. And the sprint 1 is done. Now we are in the Azure. Now what we have to see there? What are the subscriptions there? What kind of any other thing, if you say in Azure, whatever subscription, and then any technology you can say that, okay, I want to do this into that VMs, let's say virtual machines. You want that virtual machine access. That is also a step 2. Might be next sprint, you will get the sprint VMs to every allocation to every resource of your team. So that will also become a sprint. And then you can go back to the customer and say that, okay, we got access. Now we got the machine, VM machines. Now we can start development on that in the SQL server, or we can create a data lake, or whatever you want to say. But in Agile, you have to show step-by-step progress to the customer. In Waterfall, you don't have to go to customer. Customer is not easily accessible there. Okay, so that's why the waterfall is getting older and people are not going into that. Now everyone is trying to adopt this Agile technology. Roles in Scrum methodology. This is very much. What is Scrum? Scrum is nothing but, have you seen the rugby? Like 4 or 5 people are coming together and they are creating a huddle and doing the work together. That is called Scrum, basically. So what is Scrum, and what are the different roles into that when you talk about this, Scrum Agile methodology? The product owner. Product owner is the person or the stakeholder of the project. He is the responsible for setting the direction for product development or project progress. He will be in directly touch with you. He will give you some direction that, okay, I want this, I want that. They are the stakeholders, basically. They know that what kind of product they want. So that's why they will be in touch with you in every now and then. You have to give them the update, and then only they will lead that particular project. Now, team lead and Scrum Master. Scrum Master is nothing, but he is not, he's not a manager or nothing like that. He is a Scrum Master. He will facilitate everything. He is a coordinator between the Scrum product owner and the development team. Development team might have different roles, analysts, consultants, whatever, which they are developing the something for you. But Scrum Master will play a role of a coordinator between the product owner and the development team. He is just passing things. Okay, a product owner will say this, then he will analyze that, okay, it is doable in this particular sprint or not. Then he will pass it to the development team. And development team will analyze that and say that, okay, we are able to do that. And then the things will go from there onwards. Okay. Now, Agile Scrum methodology, there are different phases which you have to understand. Because, when you're talking about the waterfall, everything is like in one go. They will give you some requirements and in the end, you have to come back. But here in this Agile Scrum methodology, they will give you that, okay, I want to develop this particular product for the customer, for the end users. So they will create one product backlog. Product backlog means they will divide that end product thing into certain backlogs, and then they will do the sprint planning for that. Okay, these are very important terminologies, guys. Please remember this thing: product backlog. Right? They will ask you that, okay, what is product backlog? Product backlog is nothing but it is only about the work which they are dividing it. Like end product, already, you know the end product, and you have to divide that things into a small portion of that. And you can say that it is a product backlog 1, product backlog 2, product backlog 3. You can create multiple product backlogs, and then you can sprint on that. Let's say product backlog 1 is, I want to get the access of the entire MS Azure space, including VM, including data lake, including everything. Okay, what are the subscriptions I need? Everything you have to take that. That is product backlog 1. You have to take that access first. So once you get the access in that sprint, that product backlog will be finished. Then the second backlog will come. What is the other backlog? After getting the access, what you will do, you have to connect to the data sources. That will become the second product backlog. Nothing but dividing your work into small pieces. That is called product backlog. Then sprint planning and creating a backlog. Okay, sprint planning means what? The entire team, development team, the Scrum Master, just to visualize the things that, okay, there is one product owner, then there is one Scrum Master, then there is one development team. Only 3 important roles are there. Might be you will find hundreds of roles in Google, but I'm telling you, if you stuck to these 3 roles, you can definitely learn Agile very well. So the first thing is like sprint planning. Sprint planning is nothing. We all will sit together and we will say that, okay, what are the things we have to do in this particular sprint? And sprint is always a smaller time frame. Let's say a week, a 2 week, that's it, maximum, not more than that. Because otherwise it will not become a sprint, it will become a marathon. So we do not have to run marathon, we have to run sprint. We have to complete that particular task, complete that particular PBI into that particular sprint. Working on a sprint, then we have to do the testing and product demonstration to the client. It is very important part, product demonstration to the client. Client will come and ask, okay, what you have done in this particular sprint. Sprint is nothing but a small time frame. In small time frame, the Scrum Master will tell you that, okay, you have to do all these things and then you have to do that. Retrospective and the next sprint planning velocity within team. So retrospective and the next sprint planning velocity. These are very important things, guys. Retrospective is nothing but, let's say we have given the client demonstration. It is not possible that in a given sprint you will complete all the tasks. There are few items which you are not able to complete. So velocity is nothing but they will check that, okay, out of 10 tasks which we have decided in this particular sprint, how many we are able to complete. Let's say we are able to complete only 6 tasks. 4 tasks will go into the next sprint. Because of access issues, might be the person is on leave, they will not give you access. I'm just talking about the first phase. So that will go into the next sprint. So velocity is 60% only because you have created only 60% of the task. And retrospective is always within the team. We have to think about it that, okay, when we are doing the sprint planning, what wrong we have done? I mean, why we are not able to complete, why our velocity is not 100%. Let's say we have taken 10 tasks and we have done only 6. So our velocity is 60% only. So why we have not done 100% task? that we have to do in the retrospective. So these terms are very important: product backlog creation, sprint planning, creating backlog, working on sprint, product demonstration to the client. This is called product sprint review meeting. And then the retrospective. Retrospective means, like, let's say we have decided 10 tasks, we are able to do only 6. Why we are able to do only 6? Might be when we are deciding our sprint, and in that product backlog or something, or task when we have decided, so that task might be like of 5 days, but we have given it only 2 days. Might be we have done something wrong from our side. So that retrospective we have to do. Okay. Now, what is Scrum? I will tell you about the technologies. I will show you the task ADO dashboard as well, so that you can understand that, okay, people are talking a lot about Agile and Scrum and everything, but these are not very difficult things. Like, these are very simple things if you just watch this video and go through this deck. Scrum is a framework of rules, events, artifacts used to implement Agile projects. It is iterative approach consisting of sprints that typically only last 1 to 4 weeks maximum. Otherwise, it will not be a sprint. 1 to 4 weeks, that's it. Maximum in my condition, I have worked a lot on these Scrum kind of projects, but only 2 weeks a sprint is there, not more than that. Because people want to know, they are very curious now. They're not in the waterfall technology. Now they are in the Agile world. They want to know, the product owner want to know that, okay, what all has been completed yet. A sprint. What is the meaning of sprint? A sprint is nothing but an iteration, you can say. A very small time frame, specific tasks, milestones, or deliverables. These 3 things which you have to remember. A specific task means, everybody should understand that, okay, what are the tasks we have to achieve in this particular time frame. That is called sprint. Milestones. You have to understand that, okay, do not boast something in the meeting and say that, okay, I will do this, I will do that. No. Think about it. In the next 2 weeks, what is achievable? That only you can promise in that particular sprint. Otherwise, say no. That is fine. We can do it in the next sprint. Then, now you have to understand the hierarchy. Okay, now we are talking about the Agile methodology, Scrum, and then we have to understand the various roles. What are the various roles? Remember, once again, I'm telling: product owner, the Scrum master, development team. These 3 are the very important roles. Now we are talking about a sprint. When we go in a sprint, what we will do? We will decide an epic. Epic means what? Epic can be defined as a big chunk of work that has one common objective. It could be a feature, customer request, business requirement. In backlog, it is placed for a required feature with few lines of description. This is very important. It's a big chunk of work. Okay, I want to develop an IRCTC website. I want to develop an air ticket booking website. That is my epic. Big chunk of work. Now, for that, what all I have to do? I have to cut down those bigger tasks into the smaller things, and that are called product backlogs. Okay, so epic is a very bigger chunk of work. Then feature. So remember, guys, epic, feature, product backlog, and task. These are the 4 basic steps of a sprint: epic, feature, product backlog, and task. So we have to create our structure in this way in ADO dashboard. ADO is nothing but Azure DevOps dashboard, which they will give you in the cloud, which is a very simple thing. I'm telling you, if you go there and start doing that, it's free. Go and create one account there, Azure ADO dashboard, and start working on that. Create some sprints in the time frame, and then create an epic. Epic is a big chunk of work. Then the feature. What is feature? I said that I want to create a big website of air ticket booking website, let's say. So feature will be, it should be estimable. It must have enough definition for the development team to provide an estimate of the work involved in implementing that. This is applicable for everything, but still I'm telling you that epic, then feature. It should be small enough to fit within an iteration. Therefore, if it is too big, it should be broken down further. Okay? Feature might come in a sprint, might be in several sprints. So that is the importance of this feature. Big chunk of work is epic, then feature, which is estimable, which is doable in a given time frame. Okay. Now come product backlog. Product backlog is a single element of work that exists in the product backlog. Product backlog item, I'm saying. Okay. Epic feature, then product backlog item. Product backlog item is a single element of work. PBIs can include user stories, epics, specification, bugs, or change requirement, whatever it is. I want to enter into that. I need a user ID and password. That might be the product backlog item. You have to create that in a website. Otherwise, how can the people will go and work on that? Product owner of an agile team compiles and prioritizes the product backlog, putting the most urgent and important PBIs at the top. Let's say, what are the product backlog items? Single element of work. And you have to decide the priority of that. Okay, which is the bigger priority? I need the access of Azure, that is fine. Then I need the subscriptions of that is fine. Then I need the VMs of that is fine. Then I have to do that, create the data lake for that is fine. I need the SQL Server access. These are all product backlog items, and you have to achieve them in a given time frame. User stories, which is written here, can include user stories. I will give you the user stories definition in the next slide. User stories are very important, because this we are deciding when we are doing the project planning, or sprint planning, you can say. When we are doing a sprint planning, we have to create the user stories inside the product backlog item. User stories are what? You have to tell about the role, goal, benefit, and acceptance criteria. What is the role? I, as a product development team member, I will do this to achieve this particular goal. It will help the project in this particular way, that is benefit. And then there is an acceptance criteria. Whatever I will do, the product manager, the product owner, the scrum master, the other members of the team will accept that. That, okay, he has done this is done. Everybody will test that also, that is done. Then your user story will get completed. So get used to these terms. I have told you product, which we are going to develop finally, product backlog, the bigger part. Then we come about the epic, big chunk of work, then the feature, which is estimable. Then the user stories, or you can say product backlog items, which have role, goal, benefit, and acceptance criteria, which you have to understand. Because Waterfall technology will not have all these things. And this time, I'm not saying that you will be master in this once you watch this entire video, but I'm telling you what all you have to do to be a pro, project management kind of a person. You might have means you have to do some certifications in Scrum and all these things. That is fine. But I am telling you that if you know all these things, what is epic, what is feature, what is product backlog item, what is task. If these four, hierarchy, if you understand, Agile is done for you. It's like you don't need anything more than that. Everything else is very theoretical. You can learn that. Now, talking about the task. This is the smallest unit used in Scrum to track work. Task is what? Okay, I need an access from MS Azure. That might be a user story or something like that. Then after that, you have to further divide that within the sprint. You have to create a task of like 48 hours, 72 hours, 24 hours. Task you have to create. And task is what? Send an email to that particular team to get that access. That is a task. And who will do that? Assign the name there. Okay. Then these are the tasks, which are very smaller thing. Once again, I'm telling you, product backlog item, epic, feature, product backlog item, and task. If you understand these four things, Scrum is done for you. There is nothing much into that. Just go through that and go through some, material there on the Google, and watch this video again and again. Then you will easily understand that, okay, what is Agile, what is Waterfall, what is Scrum, what is Sprint. The sprint is nothing but a small time frame. Then what are the smaller piece parts of that? Epic, features, and product backlog items, tasks, everything you will see from there. See, this is the ADO tool. ADO is Azure DevOps. When I asked someone, is like one of my friend, he was working in Agile technology. I said, have you used ADO tool? No, sir. This is like cloud tool. I have not used it. Hey, this is very simple tool, I can tell you. If you just go through that, it's free. First of all, this is called Azure DevOps. If you go to the board, you can see here new, active, staging, and deployed. Means there are four parts basically. What are the new product backlog items are there? What are the active one? What are going in the staging? And what are the deployed? Means like that. Only four stages are there. That's it. And you can see backlog, sprints, queries, plans, everything is here. Even the velocity also you can see if you go to the analytics part into the Azure DevOps. This is just a screenshot, but if you can create a free account in Agile Tool, you can definitely see that. Okay, now what is this JIRA tool? JIRA tool is nothing. It's like, I know that people ask you, have you worked on JIRA? This is a very simple thing. If you go there, active sprints, just select the active sprint and go to this any particular item. You will see the role, goal, and acceptance criteria and description. So these four things you will see there in that particular sprint. Okay, for what particular access for what particular item we want to do this particular task. Small tasks are there, and you can do that. Just remember 4 basic steps: epic, feature, product backlog item, and task. That's it. So JIRA tool will look like this, and ADO tool will look like this. So these are all very simple things. And in the end, velocity is there, which I want to tell you that in sprint 1, we have assigned 20, let's say 20 plus 30, 15. Okay, how many? Forecast and actual. We said 20 tasks we will do. We have done only 15. Forecast, we said only 10 tasks we'll do. We have done 15 because 5 are coming from here. They will become a product backlog for you every time. They will go and add into the next sprint. Because let's say you have decided that in this particular sprint, we will do these many PBIs, and you are not able to complete everything into that particular given time frame, then they will add into the next sprint. So when you do it in the next sprint, then the velocity will show something like this. How many you have actually forecasted, how many you have done. Okay. So this is the small introduction of Waterfall and Agile technology. Just go through this particular desktop, this particular thing. I will paste this particular, try to put that into that description link. Just go through that and start working on it. If you have never worked on Scrum, don't worry. Start working on that. It's very simple because everything is step by step. If you understand that, you can do that. So, I hope you like this lecture. Please like, share, and subscribe my video. And let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye, everyone.